Chosen one. Be still for a moment and recognize that you are not here by chance. This exact moment was written into your prophetic scroll long before you were formed, and heaven itself has aligned time, breath, and attention to bring you here now. What you're about to hear is not information, it is activation. This is a Kairos moment, an appointed hour on heaven's clock, where what was sealed begins to open, and what was delayed begins to move. Chosen one, you are standing at the edge of a destined turning point. Something that has been forming in the unseen is pressing toward manifestation, and it could unfold today, tonight, or in the coming days. Scripture reminds us that for everything there is a season and a time, for every purpose under heaven, as written in Ecclesiastes chapter 3 verse 1. And this season is not approaching, it has arrived. What you have felt stirring in your spirit is not imagination, it is recognition. Heaven is signaling that the appointed time spoken of in Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 3 is now accelerating toward fulfillment. Anointed one. This introduction is an invitation to reverence, expectancy, and alignment. The Lord is unsealing something that has your name on it, and as Isaiah chapter 60 verse 22 declares, in the appointed time, He makes it happen swiftly. Prepare your heart, steady your spirit, and open your faith, because transformation is near, and this moment is sacred. Chosen one. Hear this slowly and let it settle beneath your thoughts. You are not moving through an ordinary hour. Something that was sealed during your hidden years is beginning to breathe again, and the stirring you feel is not emotional imagination. It is recognition. Heaven is not observing from a distance right now. Heaven is intervening. This is the kind of moment you only understand in hindsight, the kind you later look back on and realize everything quietly changed from here. I want to speak to you not only as a messenger, but as someone who has walked through seasons where nothing moved on the surface, while everything was shifting underneath. There were times in my own life when obedience felt invisible, when prayers felt like they hit the ceiling and fell back unanswered. Yet later I realized those were not silent seasons, they were sealed seasons. God was writing without revealing, shaping without explaining, aligning without announcing. If you have known that kind of waiting, then you already understand more than you think. Chosen one. What is happening now is not random acceleration. It is Kairos timing. It is the moment when heaven steps into human delay and says, now. The pressure you have felt recently is not opposition alone. It is transition. Sealed things resist opening. Old layers protest when destiny starts breathing. That restlessness in your spirit is not dissatisfaction with your life. It is your assignment knocking from the inside. There is a difference between loneliness and consecration. Many confuse the two. Loneliness drains you. Consecration preserves you. You were not isolated to punish you. You were set apart to protect what was being formed. I remember days when it felt like everyone else was advancing, while I stood still watching opportunities pass, watching relationships flourish for others, while mine stayed empty. Only later did I understand that God was teaching me how to stand without leaning on substitutes. That training matters now. Anointed one, heaven does not send connections to distract from calling. Heaven sends alignment to carry it. What is approaching your life is not entertainment for your emotions. It is reinforcement for your assignment. This is not about fixing what is broken. This is about activating what was preserved. You were never abandoned. You were being fortified. There is a reason peace is becoming more important to you than excitement. That shift is not you settling. It is discernment maturing. What God is bringing does not arrive with chaos or confusion. It arrives with clarity. When alignment comes, it does not demand striving. It confirms positioning. You will recognize it the same way I did when something finally arrived that did not require explanation, defense, or performance. It simply fit. Not because it was easy, but because it was true. Scripture says, "The vision awaits an appointed time and will not delay," as written in Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 3. That verse stopped being poetic to me when I realized waiting does not mean forgotten. It means timed. You are not late. You are aligned. The reason some doors did not open earlier is because you would have entered them underprepared. God does not rush legacy. He matures it. Chosen one. The hidden scroll over your life contains more than personal fulfillment. It carries impact. That is why resistance intensified before release. Anything that carries weight attracts pressure. If the enemy cannot stop destiny, he will try to exhaust the carrier. But exhaustion breaks when clarity arrives, and clarity is arriving now. You may notice your tolerance for shallow connections fading. Conversations that once satisfied you now feel hollow. This is not arrogance, it is calibration. Heaven is tuning your frequency. What is coming requires a steadier version of you, one who no longer confuses intensity with intimacy or motion with meaning. I learned this the hard way, and I'm grateful I learned it before the right doors opened. Anointed one. This segment is not here to excite you, it is here to anchor you. Something is shifting because you are ready to steward it, not chase it. You are not being invited to run faster. You are being called to stand truer. The next movement will not be loud, but it will be irreversible. Chosen one. There is a quiet shift happening beneath the surface of your life, and it may not look dramatic yet, but it is deliberate. Heaven rarely announces its most important work with noise. It moves with intention, with precision, with restraint. What you are feeling right now is the echo of alignment, the moment when what has been forming in secret begins to lean toward manifestation. This is not the season of striving harder. It is the season of recognizing what has already been arranged. I remember a time when I thought nothing was happening because nothing around me was changing. The days looked the same, the prayers felt repetitive, and the waiting felt endless. But later, I understood that God was teaching me how to remain steady without reassurance. That lesson matters now because what is approaching your life will require discernment more than excitement. You are being trained to recognize substance without spectacle. Chosen. One. Heaven does not release weighty assignments into unstable vessels. That is why your delays were not denials. They were fortifications. You were being taught how to carry peace before you were trusted with expansion. You were learning how to remain whole without validation. Those nights when you questioned yourself, when you wondered if you misheard God, were not failures of faith. They were exercises in endurance, and endurance always precedes authority. There is a reason your spirit has become less interested in proving and more interested in positioning. That shift is evidence of maturity. When destiny begins to activate, the appetite for attention fades and the hunger for alignment intensifies. You may have noticed that you no longer desire what once tempted you. That is not loss. That is refinement. God removes cravings before he releases responsibility. Anointed one. What is coming toward you will not need to be forced. It will not require you to compromise your values or explain your boundaries. Alignment does not negotiate. It confirms. When something is sent by God, it carries peace as its signature. Peace does not mean the absence of challenge. It means the absence of confusion. You will know because your spirit will rest, even while your assignment expands. I have learned that the most dangerous moments are not when nothing is happening, but when something is about to happen and impatience tries to rush the process. That is when people step out of timing and call it faith. But true faith can wait without growing bitter. True faith can prepare without panicking. You are being invited into that level of trust now. Chosen one. The sealed scroll over your life was never meant to be opened prematurely. Some things must mature in darkness, or they cannot survive the light. That is why your hidden years mattered. That is why God guarded you from certain connections and opportunities that looked good but would have cost you your clarity. Protection often feels like restriction until you see what it saved you from. You are not behind. You are on schedule. Heaven does not measure progress the way people do. It measures readiness, and readiness is not about perfection. It is about posture. Your willingness to surrender outcomes, to obey without applause, to remain faithful without visibility, has positioned you for what is now moving toward you. There will be moments when your mind tries to analyze what your spirit already knows. That is natural. But do not let logic override discernment. Some confirmations arrive quietly, some doors open without resistance, some connections feel familiar without history. These are not coincidences, they are signs of alignment. Anointed one, stay grounded in gratitude during this phase. Gratitude stabilizes the heart when anticipation rises. It keeps you from grasping and teaches you how to receive with honor. What is unfolding does not need your anxiety. It needs your availability. Continue to tend your inner life. Continue to guard your peace. Continue to live as someone who trusts heaven's timing. This moment may feel still, but stillness is not stagnation. Stillness is concentration. It is the pause before movement, the breath before speech, the gathering before release. Heaven is not rushing you because heaven is not nervous. What is being prepared for you is prepared with care. Allow yourself to trust that the same God who carried you through silence is now guiding you through transition with equal precision and love. Remember this as you move through ordinary days. Destiny often wears familiar clothing. It does not always announce itself with drama. Sometimes it arrives disguised as peace, as clarity, as a quiet knowing that you no longer need to chase what belongs to you. Let that knowing anchor you. Let it soften your grip. Let it teach you how to receive without fear and without apology. Chosen one. As this season deepens, you may notice that what once motivated you no longer holds the same power. Old desires feel distant, old fears feel exposed, and old ambitions feel too small for the weight you're now carrying. This is not loss. This is recalibration. Heaven does not upgrade a calling without first refining the appetite. You are being taught to hunger for alignment, more than outcome for truth, more than validation for obedience, more than applause. That shift alone signals that something significant is already underway. There was a time in my own walk when I misunderstood this phase. I thought God had gone silent because the noise around me faded. In reality, he was reducing interference. When everything quiets, the true signal becomes clearer. You may feel less compelled to explain yourself, less interested in proving your worth, less reactive to misunderstanding. This is not apathy, it is authority settling into place. You are learning that clarity does not require consensus. Chosen one, understand this clearly. Destiny does not rush, it converges. What is meant for you does not arrive frantic or unstable. It arrives anchored. That is why this season has required patience that stretched you. You were not being tested to see if you would quit. You were being strengthened so you would not crumble under what is coming. Weight requires structure. Influence requires grounding. Impact requires endurance. You may feel moments where your emotions surface unexpectedly, not because you are regressing, but because old layers are being released. Healing is rarely loud. Often it shows up as a sudden awareness of what you no longer need to carry. When that happens, do not shame yourself for feeling. Honor yourself for shedding. Growth often looks like softness, not hardness. Anointed one, you are also becoming more discerning about energy. Certain conversations drain you. Certain environments feel misaligned. Certain expectations feel intrusive. This is your spirit protecting what has been entrusted to it. You are not becoming distant. You are becoming selective. There is a difference. Selectivity is wisdom activated through experience. The hidden scroll over your life contains timing codes, not just promises. That is why forcing outcomes now would feel wrong. You are learning to wait without stagnating, to trust, without disengaging, to prepare, without panicking. This balance is rare, and it is being formed in you deliberately. Heaven is not rushed, and neither should you be. Chosen one, do not underestimate the significance of ordinary faithfulness in this hour. Showing up, staying honest, remaining consistent, guarding your inner world. These are not small things. They are foundations. I have learned that the most dramatic shifts often follow the quietest obedience. What you sustain now determines what you can steward later. There may be moments where you question whether you are doing enough. Release that thought. You are not called to manufacture momentum. You are called to remain aligned. Alignment creates its own movement. When the time is right, doors open with ease that effort could never produce. Pay attention to what you are being drawn toward naturally, not impulsively, but steadily. Heaven often leads through inclination rather than command. When something resonates deeply without pressure, that is guidance. When something demands urgency but erodes peace, that is distraction. Chosen one. Your role right now is not to figure everything out. It is to remain responsive. Stay teachable. Stay grounded. Stay aware. What is being prepared around you will meet the version of you that exists now, not the one you used to be. That is why this inner work mattered so much. Trust this process. You are not behind. You are not late. You are precisely where refinement meets readiness. And that intersection is where destiny quietly takes shape. Chosen one, as this preparation continues, you may begin to sense a deeper steadiness forming beneath the surface of your life. Not excitement, not urgency, but assurance. This assurance does not come from certainty about details. It comes from alignment with direction. You are learning how to stand without needing constant reassurance, and that is a powerful shift. Stability in the spirit always precedes expansion in the natural. There was a season when I believed faith meant constant motion, always doing, always reaching, always pushing. But faith matured when I learned how to remain still without becoming passive. That lesson changed how I discerned timing. Movement that begins before readiness creates damage. Movement that begins after alignment creates momentum. You are being held in place not to restrain you, but to synchronize you. On Chosen One. Heaven is deeply intentional. Nothing about your delays was accidental. Nothing about your solitude was random. Isolation stripped away dependency. Silence sharpened discernment. Waiting clarified motive. These were not punishments. They were permissions to become whole. You are now operating from wholeness, not hunger, and that distinction changes everything you touch. You may notice that your prayers have become simpler, less bargaining, less pleading, more listening. That is not loss of passion. That is trust replacing anxiety. When trust increases, the need to control decreases. This is one of the clearest signs that alignment has taken root. Anointed One. There is also a strengthening happening in how you view yourself. Not pride, not self-elevation, but accurate identity. You are no longer defining yourself by what failed, what left, or what delayed. You are defining yourself by what remained. Faith remained. Integrity remained. Hunger for truth remained. Those are not small anchors, they are eternal ones. You may still encounter moments of doubt. That does not disqualify you. Doubt often surfaces when the mind tries to catch up with what the spirit already knows. Do not battle doubt aggressively. Let peace answer it. Peace is not the absence of questions. It is the refusal to let questions rule. Chosen One, continue to honor the boundaries you have established. They are not walls, they are gates. They allow what is aligned to enter and keep what is misaligned out. Every boundary you maintain now protects what is coming next. I learned this the hard way. What I once called restriction later revealed itself as preservation. You are also being trained to recognize divine pacing. Not everything needs an immediate response. Not every invitation requires acceptance. Not every opportunity deserves your energy. Wisdom is knowing when to move and when to wait. That discernment is growing sharper in you. Anointed One, remain grounded in everyday faithfulness. How you speak to yourself, how you treat others, how you steward small responsibilities. These are the places where destiny is rehearsed. Big assignments are sustained by small disciplines. What you normalize now will define what you can manage later. If you feel a sense of anticipation without anxiety, that is alignment. If you feel peace without explanation, that is confirmation. Heaven does not always announce what it is about to do. Sometimes it simply prepares you to receive it without fear. Chosen One, keep your inner posture soft and your convictions firm. Softness allows connection. Conviction allows direction. Together they create stability. You are not meant to harden in this season. You are meant to deepen. Trust that what is unfolding does not require your force. It requires your presence. Stay present. Stay responsive. Stay faithful. The work happening within you now is not visible to everyone, but it is essential. And when the moment arrives, you will recognize it, not by chaos, but by clarity. Chosen One, as this journey continues, you may start to recognize that your internal dialogue has shifted. The voice of fear that once questioned your worth now sounds unfamiliar, almost distant, as if it no longer carries authority. This is not because challenges have disappeared, but because your inner foundation has strengthened. You are no longer interpreting life through survival. You are interpreting it through alignment. That is a profound transformation, and it did not happen overnight. It was forged through repetition, surrender, and the quiet courage to keep going when nothing made sense. There were moments when obedience felt lonely, moments when doing the right thing cost you connection, comfort, or clarity. I have stood in that same place, wondering whether faithfulness was worth the isolation it produced. What I learned is this: obedience often separates you temporarily so that alignment can reunite you permanently. What left could not follow where you were going. What stayed could not sustain where you were headed. That pruning was not rejection, it was precision. Chosen one. You are now developing a deeper trust in divine timing, not as a concept, but as a lived reality. You have seen enough evidence to know that forcing outcomes only creates complications. Waiting with awareness, however, creates wisdom. You are learning how to hold vision without anxiety, expectation without pressure, and hope without desperation. That balance is rare, and it marks spiritual maturity. There is also a growing confidence in how you make decisions. You no longer need excessive confirmation from people who do not understand your path. You are becoming comfortable listening inwardly, weighing peace over popularity, truth over trend. That discernment was costly, but it is invaluable. It protects you from detours that look attractive but lead nowhere. Anointed one, notice how your reactions have softened. Situations that once triggered defensiveness now invite reflection. This is not weakness. This is strength under control. Emotional regulation is spiritual fruit. It signals that your identity is no longer fragile. You know who you are becoming, even if others do not yet see it. You may still experience moments of longing. That is human. But longing no longer defines you. It informs you. It points to capacity, not lack. Desire itself is not the enemy. Disordered desire is. Yours is being purified. You are learning the difference between wanting something and needing it to feel whole. Wholeness has already been established within you. Chosen one. This season is teaching you stewardship. How you steward time, energy, attention, and trust. These are rehearsals for greater responsibility. What is being aligned toward you will require stability, not impulse. You're being prepared to carry weight without being crushed by it. There may be days when progress feels invisible. Those are often the most productive days spiritually. Roots grow in darkness. Foundations are laid underground. Visibility comes later. Do not confuse hidden work with stagnant work. Heaven values depth more than display. Anointed one, continue honoring the rhythms that keep you grounded. Prayer that is honest, not performative. Rest that is intentional, not escapist. Work that is diligent, not driven by fear. These rhythms anchor you. They create sustainability. You are not meant to arrive exhausted. You are meant to arrive ready. Readiness looks like peace. It looks like clarity. It looks like trust that no longer needs to rush the process. Chosen one, remain faithful to what you know is true, even when the outcome is not yet visible. Faithfulness is not passive waiting. It is active alignment. You are aligning daily whether you realize it or not. Chosen one, as stabilization settles in, you may begin to feel an unfamiliar sense of calm authority in your life. Not control over circumstances, but confidence in how you respond to them. This authority does not announce itself. It operates quietly, steadily, without the need to impress. You are becoming someone who does not need to convince others of your direction. You simply walk it. There was a time when uncertainty dominated your thoughts. You questioned whether you were hearing correctly, whether you were doing enough, whether you were missing something important. That questioning served a purpose. It refined discernment. But now that phase is giving way to trust. Trust does not remove questions entirely. It removes their power to destabilize you. Chosen one, you are learning how to remain centered even when external circumstances fluctuate. This is a critical skill. Stability attracts alignment. Chaos repels it. What is meant to connect with you requires a steady foundation. You are becoming that foundation. You may notice that your capacity for patience has expanded. Not the forced patience that suppresses frustration, but the patient confidence that knows timing matters. This patience is not passive. It is alert. It watches. It listens. It responds when necessary and rests when required. That balance is wisdom in motion. Anointed One, reflect on how much you have already navigated. Things that once felt overwhelming are now memories. Lessons that once felt painful now feel instructive. This perspective shift is evidence of growth. You did not simply endure, you integrated. Integration is what transforms experience into wisdom. There is also an increased sensitivity to what aligns and what does not. You may feel drawn away from noise comparison and unnecessary urgency. This is not withdrawal. It is refinement of focus. Your attention is becoming more valuable because your assignment is becoming clearer, chosen. One clarity often arrives quietly. It does not always come with dramatic signs. Sometimes it comes as a settled, knowing a sense that you no longer need to search externally for validation. That inner assurance is one of the strongest indicators that alignment is near. You are also learning how to hold space for others without losing yourself. Compassion without overextension. Support without self-abandonment. This balance protects your energy and preserves your purpose. I learned this lesson through exhaustion. You are learning it through awareness. That is progress. Anointed One, stay attentive to how peace guides you. Peace is not passive acceptance of anything that comes. It is an active filter that reveals what belongs and what does not. When something requires you to betray your values, peace withdraws. When something aligns with your calling, peace remains even if the path is unfamiliar. You may still feel moments of anticipation. That is natural. Anticipation without anxiety is a sign that hope has matured. You are no longer bracing for disappointment. You are open without being naive. That posture allows genuine connection when the time is right. Chosen One, do not rush to define the future. Allow it to reveal itself through alignment. What is coming toward you does not require you to chase it. It requires you to be present when it arrives. Continue cultivating inner honesty. Speak truth to yourself before you speak it outwardly. Integrity begins internally. What you allow yourself to acknowledge privately shapes what you can steward publicly. Anointed One. This phase is about embodiment. You are not just believing truth, you are living it. Your actions, boundaries, and rhythms reflect it. That embodiment creates resonance. What resonates will recognize you. Remain steady. Remain grounded. Remain open. You are not standing still. You are standing ready. And readiness is the quiet power that allows destiny to unfold without strain. Chosen One, as you remain in this posture of readiness, something subtle but profound begins to take shape within you. It is the quiet confidence of someone who no longer needs external permission to trust their own discernment. You are learning how to listen beneath the noise, beneath emotion, beneath urgency, and hear what is steady and true. This is not intuition sharpened by impulse. This is wisdom formed through surrender. It changes how you move, how you wait, and how you recognize what belongs to you when it appears. There was a season in my own life when I mistook intensity for confirmation. I believed that if something felt overwhelming, it must be divine. Over time, experience taught me otherwise. What is aligned does not overwhelm the spirit. It grounds it. It does not rush you into decisions that fracture peace. It invites you into clarity that strengthens resolve. You are beginning to sense this difference now. That is growth. That is discernment becoming embodied rather than theoretical. Chosen one. The work being done in you at this stage is not dramatic, but it is decisive. You are being anchored. Anchors do not move much, but they allow everything connected to them to remain secure. What is coming into alignment with you will need this stability. Not excitement that fades, not passion that burns out, but consistency that endures. Heaven values longevity more than spectacle. You may notice that your definition of success is changing. It is no longer about speed, recognition, or comparison. It is about faithfulness, sustainability, and truth. That shift matters. It signals that your identity is no longer negotiable. You are not reshaping yourself to fit environments that cannot hold you. You are allowing environments to reveal whether they can meet you where you stand. Anointed One this season also invites you to revisit your relationship with trust. Not blind trust in people or outcomes, but grounded trust in process. Trust that what unfolds in its proper time carries less complication and more peace. You are learning that delay does not equal denial, and movement does not always equal progress. Sometimes restraint is the highest form of wisdom. There may be moments when impatience tries to surface, disguised as productivity or urgency. Pay attention to that. Ask whether the urge to move is coming from alignment or anxiety. One brings clarity, the other brings confusion. You are becoming capable of distinguishing between the two, and that discernment will save you from unnecessary detours. Chosen one. You are also learning how to hold hope without attaching it to specific forms. This is important. When hope becomes rigid, disappointment follows. When hope remains open, alignment flows. You are learning to trust the essence of what you are being prepared for without demanding that it arrive in a particular package. That openness creates room for something better than what you could have planned. I want you to hear this clearly. You are not invisible in this season. Just because there is no public evidence yet does not mean there is no movement. Some of the most significant shifts happen in places no one applauds. What is unseen is often what sustains what becomes visible. You're being strengthened at the root. Anointed one, notice how your tolerance for misalignment has decreased. Things that once felt acceptable now feel heavy. Conversations that lack substance feel draining. This is not judgment, it is refinement. Your spirit is becoming more sensitive to what feeds it and what depletes it. That sensitivity is a gift. Protect it. You are also being invited to release the need to narrate your process to others. Not everyone needs to understand where you're going. Some will only recognize it once you arrive. Silence in this phase is not secrecy, it is stewardship. What is forming requires space. Chosen one, allow yourself to be fully present in the now without anxiety about what comes next. Presence does not stall destiny. It prepares you to receive it without distortion. When you are grounded in the present, you recognize alignment more easily. You are not distracted by fantasy or fear. There is a quiet strengthening happening in how you view yourself. Not inflated confidence, but settled identity. You are no longer asking who you need to become. You are becoming who you already are. That integration matters. What aligns with you next will meet this integrated version of you, not the fragmented one from before. Anointed one, remain attentive to peace. Peace does not shout. It confirms. It lingers. It remains even when circumstances are unresolved. When peace is present, trust it. When it withdraws, pause. That guidance will not mislead you. This season is not about arrival yet. It is about readiness without strain. You are learning how to hold anticipation without pressure, expectation without attachment, and faith without fear. That balance is rare, and it is being formed in you intentionally. Stay steady, stay open, stay aligned. You are not waiting for permission. You are preparing for recognition. And when what is meant for you arrives, you will not need to convince yourself. Your spirit will know chosen one. As you move deeper into this phase, there is an internal quietness settling that cannot be manufactured. It is the calm that comes when your spirit finally trusts the process more than it questions the outcome. You may not have all the details, but you no longer feel the urgency to demand them. That is not passivity. That is maturity. When the soul matures, it stops fighting the unknown and starts cooperating with it. You are learning how to live without bracing yourself for disappointment, and that shift alone changes how heaven can work through you. There was a time when waiting felt like tension, like holding your breath. Now, it feels more like breathing steadily while standing watch. This is an important distinction. You are not idle. You are attentive. You are no longer burning energy trying to predict what will happen next. You are conserving it, strengthening your inner posture so that when movement comes, you can respond without panic. This is what preparedness actually looks like. Chosen one. You may notice that your inner world feels cleaner, not perfect, but clearer. Old narratives that once defined you no longer feel convincing. You are not replaying past failures as proof of limitation. You are seeing them as training. That reframing did not happen by accident. It happened because you stayed present through discomfort instead of escaping it. You allowed truth to replace coping. That choice has positioned you differently. Anointed one. This is also a season where discernment sharpens around relationships. You are no longer drawn to intensity for its own sake. You are drawn to depth, to consistency, to substance. Loud connections feel hollow. Quiet alignment feels rich. This is not because you have grown cold, but because you have grown clear. Your nervous system is no longer mistaking chaos for chemistry. Peace now feels like recognition. You may still experience moments where old habits try to resurface, especially when uncertainty appears. Be gentle with yourself in those moments. Awareness is already victory. You are not meant to suppress old patterns through force. You are meant to outgrow them through understanding. Each time you choose presence over reaction, you reinforce the new foundation forming beneath you. Chosen one, understand this. Heaven does not reveal what is coming until you can hold it without losing yourself. What is aligning toward you requires stability, not excitement. You are being shaped into someone who can receive without over-attaching, who can engage without over-identifying, who can love without disappearing. That balance is rare, and it is why this preparation has been thorough. There is also an invitation here to trust your pacing. You do not need to keep up with anyone else's timeline. Comparison only distorts discernment. Your rhythm has been calibrated through experience, not theory. Honor it. When something is meant to meet you, it will arrive within that rhythm, not against it. Anointed one. You are learning how to remain open without being porous. Open hearts still need boundaries. Boundaries are not signs of fear. They are signs of wisdom. You are protecting what has been cultivated within you, not hiding it. That distinction matters. You may find yourself simplifying aspects of your life, not because you lack ambition, but because clarity demands space. Simplicity creates room for depth. Noise dilutes it. You are instinctively making room for what matters most, even if you cannot fully articulate why yet. Trust that instinct. It is informed by alignment. Chosen one. This phase also refines how you interpret silence. Silence no longer feels like abandonment. It feels like incubation. Something is forming beneath the surface, and rushing it would weaken its structure. You are learning to wait without withdrawing to hope, without clinging to believe, without forcing. That posture is powerful. I want you to recognize how much strength it takes to remain grounded when nothing external has changed yet. That strength is not obvious, but it is substantial. It is easy to be faithful when progress is visible. It is far harder to be faithful when progress is internal. You have done the harder work. Anointed one, stay attentive to subtle confirmations, not dramatic signs, but quiet consistencies. Peace that remains. Direction that clarifies. Desires that purify. These are markers of alignment. They matter more than sudden breakthroughs because they sustain what breakthroughs begin. You are not waiting for permission. You are not waiting to be validated. You are waiting in alignment. There is a difference. Alignment carries authority without announcement. It does not need to explain itself. Chosen one, continue to show up fully where you are. Do not minimize this season because it looks ordinary. Ordinary moments often carry extraordinary preparation. What is coming will require the version of you that exists now, not the one you used to be. Remain steady. Remain receptive. Remain rooted. You are not standing still. You are standing aligned. And alignment, when complete, always leads to movement that does not need to be forced. Chosen one, as you remain in this place of alignment, a deeper awareness begins to rise, one that does not depend on signs or reassurance, but on inner certainty. This certainty does not shout. It settles. It anchors you in the present while quietly expanding your vision forward. You may notice that your reactions to uncertainty are different now. Where you once rushed to interpret, explain, or control, you now pause. That pause is not hesitation. It is discernment. It is the space where wisdom speaks before impulse interrupts. There was a time when I believed that clarity had to arrive all at once, like a sudden revelation that removed every question. But clarity rarely works that way. It unfolds progressively, revealing only what you need for the next faithful step. You are learning to walk without demanding the full map, and that trust is strengthening your spiritual muscles. Step by step, obedience builds endurance, not dependence. Chosen one. This season is teaching you how to remain open without being exposed. You are no longer pouring yourself out in places that cannot hold what you carry. You are becoming selective with access, not out of fear, but out of honor. Honor for your time, your energy, your calling. That selectivity is not selfish. It is stewardship refined through experience. You may feel a growing desire to protect your inner peace more fiercely. That is not avoidance. It is recognition. Peace has become a compass rather than a reward. You are learning that if something requires you to betray peace, it is not aligned, no matter how appealing it looks. That awareness will guide you safely through future decisions. Anointed one. There is also a strengthening happening in how you hold tension. You can now sit with unanswered questions without spiraling. You can acknowledge longing without letting it dominate your identity. This capacity did not come naturally. It was built through repeated moments of choosing trust over fear. That strength will matter. You are also beginning to recognize that timing is not just about when something happens, but about who you are when it does. What arrives too early becomes overwhelming. What arrives too late feels burdensome. Alignment ensures arrival meets readiness. You are being prepared not just to receive, but to sustain what comes next. Chosen. 1. Pay attention to how your inner dialogue has softened. You are less critical, less harsh, more honest. Compassion toward yourself has replaced condemnation. That shift is essential. You cannot steward future connections from a place of self-rejection. Healing always precedes healthy alignment. You may still encounter moments where old doubts attempt to resurface, questioning whether this process is real or imagined. When that happens, return to what you know, not what you fear. Return to the evidence of growth, the consistency of peace, the maturity of response. These are not imagined, they are lived. Anointed one. You are also learning how to wait without putting your life on hold. You are present in your work, your relationships, your daily rhythms. Waiting no longer feels like suspension. It feels like preparation in motion. That posture keeps you grounded and prevents fixation. There is a quiet resilience forming in you, not the kind that hardens, but the kind that bends without breaking. You are no longer afraid of disappointment because you trust your capacity to recover with wisdom. That confidence is not arrogance, it is earned stability. Chosen one. This phase invites you to release urgency without losing intention. Urgency clouds discernment. Intention sharpens it. You're learning to act deliberately rather than reactively. That skill will protect you from misalignment that feels exciting but lacks substance. You may notice that your sense of purpose feels less dramatic but more real. Purpose is no longer something you chase. It is something you inhabit. It shows up in how you treat people, how you steward opportunities, how you honor truth. That embodiment matters more than any announcement. Anointed one, continue to trust the subtle work being done within you. What is forming is not fragile. It is being reinforced daily through choice awareness and surrender. You are not waiting to become someone else. You are allowing who you truly are to fully emerge. This season is not asking you to prove anything. It is inviting you to remain faithful to what you already know. Faithfulness does not require certainty about outcomes. It requires consistency in values. Stay present. Stay honest. Stay aligned. You are not missing anything meant for you. What belongs will arrive in its proper time, and when it does, you will meet it with clarity rather than confusion, with peace rather than pressure, and with readiness rather than fear. Chosen. One, as this phase unfolds, you may begin to recognize a deeper integration taking place between who you have been and who you are becoming. The distance between your inner convictions and your outer actions is narrowing. What you believe is starting to match how you live, and that alignment brings a quiet authority that cannot be imitated. You are no longer negotiating with yourself about what matters. You are embodying it. This is not perfection. This is coherence, and coherence is powerful. There was a season when I struggled with fragmentation, believing one thing internally while living another externally, not out of hypocrisy, but out of fear and uncertainty. What healed that gap was not effort, but honesty. Honesty about limits, honesty about wounds, honesty about desires. You are walking through that same restoration now. You are no longer pretending to be ready for things you are not, nor denying readiness where it already exists. That honesty stabilizes the soul. Chosen one. You are also learning how to release attachment to outcomes while remaining committed to direction. This distinction is subtle but critical. Attachment creates pressure. Direction creates movement. You're learning to aim without gripping to hope, without clinging to prepare, without obsessing. That balance allows life to meet you without resistance. You may notice that your tolerance for inner contradiction has decreased. When something feels misaligned, you can no longer ignore it. That sensitivity is not a burden, it is a calibration. Your spirit is becoming finely tuned. What once felt acceptable now feels heavy. What once felt confusing now feels clear. This is not loss. This is refinement. Anointed One, this season is also reshaping how you relate to effort. You are beginning to understand that not everything requires pushing. Some things require positioning. Pushing creates fatigue. Positioning creates readiness. You are learning to place yourself where alignment can find you rather than forcing alignment through strain. There is also a growing confidence in your ability to handle uncertainty. Uncertainty no longer feels like threat. It feels like space. Space for growth. Space for discovery. Space for trust. You are no longer rushing to fill silence with noise. You are allowing silence to inform you. That shift changes how you experience waiting. Chosen One, you may find that your identity feels less reactive. You're not constantly adjusting yourself based on feedback or circumstance. You are grounded in a sense of self that does not require constant reinforcement. This stability is not arrogance, it is self-possession. You know where you stand, even when others do not. You are also learning how to recognize when something is unfolding naturally rather than being manufactured. What unfolds naturally carries continuity. What is forced fractures easily. This discernment will guide you well. When alignment is present, effort feels proportionate, not exhausting. Pay attention to that signal. Anointed One, you are becoming more comfortable with delayed gratification. Not because you lack desire, but because you trust timing. Trusting timing does not mean suppressing longing. It means placing longing in the right context. You are learning to let desire inform you without letting it drive you. That maturity will protect future connections. You may notice that your inner life feels more spacious. Fewer compulsive thoughts, less mental looping, more clarity. This spaciousness did not come from eliminating complexity, but from integrating it. You are no longer fighting yourself. You are listening. Chosen One. This integration allows you to be present without distraction. Presence sharpens discernment. When you are present, you notice what resonates and what repels. You notice what brings peace and what drains it. These observations are not random. They are guidance. There is also an invitation here to trust your own growth. You do not need to constantly measure yourself against who you used to be or who you think you should become. Growth is happening. It is evident in how you respond, how you wait, how you choose. Those shifts are real. Anointed One, remain gentle with yourself as this coherence deepens. Integration takes time. Old habits may still surface occasionally, not as failure, but as reminders of how far you have come. Meet them with awareness, not judgment. Awareness dissolves what force cannot. You are not being asked to accelerate, you are being asked to stabilize. Stability allows what comes next to endure. Endurance matters more than arrival. Stay grounded in daily faithfulness, ordinary choices, honest conversations, consistent boundaries. These are not distractions from destiny, they are its infrastructure. Chosen One, Trust that what is aligning toward you will meet you at this level of integration, not the fragmented version from before. You are not waiting for something to make you whole. You are allowing wholeness to shape what you receive. Remain present, remain aligned, remain honest. You're not standing still, you're standing integrated. And integration is the quiet strength that allows destiny to arrive without distortion. Chosen one, as you step into this stage, there is a subtle but undeniable shift in how you carry yourself through the world. It is not visible in dramatic gestures or loud declarations. It shows up in how you pause before responding, how you choose rest without guilt, how you no longer rush to fill silence with explanation. You are beginning to live from an internal steadiness that does not depend on outcomes to validate it. This steadiness is not passive, it is rooted. It comes from knowing that what is unfolding does not require your anxiety to succeed. There was a time when waiting felt like being suspended between who you were and who you hoped to become. That tension often created restlessness. Now that space feels different. It feels inhabited. You are no longer waiting for life to begin. You are living fully while allowing what is next to form without interference. This is a rare posture. Many people wait with resentment or distraction. You are waiting with awareness. That awareness keeps you aligned rather than stagnant. Chosen one. You may notice that your relationship with effort continues to change. You are no longer measuring progress by how exhausted you feel. You are measuring it by how aligned you remain. This shift is important. Exhaustion is not proof of faithfulness. Peace is not proof of complacency. You are learning that sustained clarity accomplishes more than frantic motion ever could. Anointed one. There is also a growing honesty in how you relate to your own limits. You are not trying to exceed them to prove worth, nor are you using them as excuses to avoid growth. You are acknowledging them as part of your design. Limits create structure. Structure creates sustainability. This understanding will protect you from burning out when expansion comes. You may find that certain ambitions have softened, not because you've lost drive, but because you've gained perspective. What once felt urgent now feels negotiable. What once felt essential now feels optional. This does not mean you care less. It means you are seeing more clearly. Clarity often simplifies desire. Chosen one. This season also refines your sense of responsibility. You are becoming more intentional about what you carry and what you release. Not every problem requires your solution. Not every need requires your sacrifice. Discernment is teaching you where your responsibility begins and ends. That clarity preserves your energy for what truly matters. There is a quiet confidence emerging in how you hold your story. You no longer feel the need to justify where you have been or explain why certain things took time. Your history no longer feels like something to defend. It feels like something that formed you. That shift allows you to stand without apology. Anointed. One, you are also becoming more comfortable with ambiguity. You do not need everything defined to feel secure. You can hold unanswered questions without anxiety. This capacity is essential for what comes next. Expansion always involves unknowns. Your ability to remain steady within them is preparation. You may notice that your attention is becoming more selective. You are less drawn to noise drama or urgency that lacks substance. This is not withdrawal, it is refinement. Your focus is becoming valuable because your direction is becoming clear. What you give your attention to now shapes what grows. Chosen one. There is also an invitation here to trust the timing of revelation. Not everything is meant to be understood in advance. Some understanding arrives only through experience. You are learning to move without over-interpreting every step. That trust reduces friction and allows flow. I want you to recognize that this phase is not about becoming someone new. It is about fully inhabiting who you already are. You are not being reshaped from the outside in. You are being revealed from the inside out. That process feels quieter because it is deeper. Anointed One, continue to honor the rhythms that sustain you, the routines that ground you, the practices that keep you honest. These are not distractions from destiny. They are what allow destiny to arrive without disruption. What you practice now becomes what you rely on later. You are also learning how to remain open without being reactive. Openness no longer means availability to everything. It means receptivity to what aligns. This discernment protects your peace while preserving your capacity to connect deeply when the time is right. Chosen. 1. As this integration continues, trust that what is forming within you is strong enough to hold what is approaching. You are not being rushed because rushing would weaken the foundation. You are being stabilized so that when movement comes, it will be sustainable. Remain patient with the process. Patience here is not endurance without hope. It is trust with awareness. You are not waiting in the dark. You are standing in alignment. Stay grounded. Stay honest. Stay receptive. You are not preparing for something fragile. You are preparing for something substantial. And you are becoming the kind of person who can receive it without losing yourself. Chosen One, as this cycle reaches its fullness, there is a settling that happens deep within you, the kind that feels like arriving without moving. You are not standing at the edge anymore, wondering if you belong here. You are standing inside the space that once felt distant, carrying yourself with a quiet assurance that does not need to announce itself. This assurance is not built on outcomes. It is built on trust. Trust that what has been shaped within you is sufficient for what lies ahead, even if the shape of it has not fully revealed itself yet. You may notice that your relationship with fear has changed. Fear no longer commands your attention the way it once did. It may still appear, but it no longer drives your decisions. You are not denying fear. You are contextualizing it. You recognize it as information, not instruction. This shift is crucial. When fear loses authority, clarity gains space. And clarity allows you to move forward without fragmentation. Chosen One. This season has taught you how to remain whole while things are unfinished. That skill will serve you well. Many people only feel secure when everything is resolved. You have learned how to feel grounded while things are still forming. That is not tolerance, that is maturity. It means you are no longer dependent on resolution to experience peace. Peace has become internal rather than circumstantial. Anointed One. There is also a deepening respect you now hold for process. You no longer rush to label experiences as good or bad. You understand that meaning often reveals itself later. This patience with interpretation protects you from premature conclusions that limit growth. You are allowing life to speak for itself over time. You may find that your expectations have become less rigid, not because you have lowered standards, but because you have raised discernment. You are no longer attached to specific outcomes as proof of alignment. You are more interested in integrity, consistency, and peace. That shift makes room for something more enduring than what you originally imagined. Chosen One. You are also learning how to stand alone without feeling lonely. Solitude no longer feels like absence. It feels like presence with yourself. This self-companionship is not isolation, it is integration. It means you are no longer outsourcing your sense of completeness. That inner stability changes how you will connect going forward. There is a quiet readiness in you now, not urgency, not anticipation that borders on anxiety. Readiness, the kind that allows you to respond rather than react. The kind that does not panic when timing shifts slightly. The kind that trusts alignment more than control. This readiness did not appear suddenly, it was cultivated through consistency. Anointed One, reflect for a moment on how you handle stillness now compared to before. Stillness used to feel uncomfortable, like something was missing. Now it feels informative. In stillness, you notice what resonates and what does not. You notice where peace remains and where it withdraws. That awareness is guidance. You may also sense that your sense of identity feels less performative. You are not trying to be seen a certain way. You are allowing yourself to be known gradually, appropriately. This restraint is not fear. It is wisdom. It preserves depth and invites genuine connection rather than superficial validation. Chosen One. This phase marks a transition from preparation to posture. You are not being asked to do more. You are being asked to be consistent with who you have become. Consistency stabilizes destiny. It allows what comes next to integrate smoothly rather than disruptively. There may still be unanswered questions. Let them remain unanswered for now. Not everything needs to be resolved before movement begins. Some understanding only arrives once you are already walking. You are capable of that now. You are no longer afraid of learning as you go. Anointed One, honor the simplicity of this moment. Do not over-interpret it. Do not minimize it. Simplicity often precedes expansion. When life quiets, it is often making room. You do not need to fill that space with worry. Let it remain open. You are not being tested anymore in the way you once were. You are being trusted. Trusted to respond with discernment. Trusted to maintain boundaries. Trusted to listen inwardly. That trust is evident in how much responsibility you can now hold without strain. Chosen One, remain attentive but relaxed, engaged but not tense, open but not unguarded. This balance is the fruit of everything you have walked through. It is not accidental. It is earned through presence, honesty, and surrender. As you move forward from here, carry this with you. You do not need to chase what is aligned. You need to recognize it when it arrives, and you will. Not because it is loud, but because it fits. Not because it demands proof, but because it brings peace. Stay grounded in who you are. Stay faithful to what you know. Stay open to what is unfolding. You are not waiting for alignment. You are living in it. Chosen One, as this sacred moment comes to rest, do not rush past what has been released over your life. What you have heard was not simply a message. It was a summons, a confirmation that the seal over your prophetic scroll is opening and that you are standing in your exact Kairos moment, the appointed time written for you on heaven's clock. What was hidden is being revealed. What was delayed is now aligning. What was whispered in secret is beginning to take form. Anointed One, receive this blessing. May your spirit remain steady, your discernment sharp, and your heart anchored in peace. May every step you take from this moment forward fall into divine order. I declare clarity over your decisions, protection over your path, and favor over what is being prepared to meet you. You are not late. You are not behind. You are precisely on time. Remain faithful in the stillness. Stay aligned with the flow of the anointing. Let gratitude go before you as a signal of trust for what is already unfolding. If this word resonated in your spirit, you may quietly acknowledge it in the comments or share it as a seed of confirmation for another chosen one. And if you feel led, stay connected by subscribing so you do not miss the next instruction. Go now in reverence and confidence. Your scroll is opening, your season is shifting, and what God revealed will come to pass.